It's nice to meet you.
You too? How you
Yeah.
been?
Well, I've been okay. I think the real question is, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Just got uh just got done with the greatest experience of my life. It
I
was
know. Yeah. Well, that's why we're here. My first question always is, I mean, after you seeing everything and whatever, like, how are you feeling in general about your experience?
uh, of course I wish I was still out there. I wish I'd uh, lasted longer on that island, but I mean, just to even get the call that you've been cast is it's just amazing. And when you say once in a lifetime experience, it really was. I was there, and no one can take that away from me. I'll have those memories for the rest of my life. If anyone's considering making that 3 minute video and throwing your name in the hat, do it. I thought about it for years before I finally did it, and what a great ride it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so like, where do you think things went south for you?
The tribe swap. I'm blaming it all on the buff that I picked. I you get out there and you think, well, the greatest thing that could possibly happen is you get on Survivor and you win every damn challenge. But it changes things. I had a different experience than most castaways would out there. And it was just kumbaya. Yeah, we're camping, we're catching fish and eating crabs and having a good time. And it was to the point that I was like, good, we're gonna mix things up. We're gonna start playing. It's gonna get real. Until I looked at the buff I had and I looked around at everybody else who had my yellow buff, and I thought, uh-oh, this might not end well for me. that was the turning point for me, is that I picked the wrong color buff at that swap.
Well, I want to get more into that. So, like, what do you think of this new tribe that you are a part of? What specifically concerned you?
It just the numbers.
Mm,
It was everybody out there is a totally awesome human being. Even though I was targeting Nate, I was just playing the game. I was trying to survive, and I got nothing against Nate. I would
mm.
love to work with Nate. I'd love to work with anybody on the Uli tribe, but at this point in the game, we're still pretty early on, and it's a numbers game, and it's just an obvious play when it falls out like that. You got four Ulis and two Hina.
Mm.
Sophie's she's not on a chopping block at all. It's obvious. We're gonna take out a Hina. Who's it gonna be, Jason or Matt? And so it was just the obvious play, and nothing against the new tribe. It's just against the numbers. It was the problem.
Yeah. So, because the experience of watching it is very different than living it. And so, like, what was it like watching your episodes? But also, did anything surprise you that you weren't privy to out there as you watched?
No, it's very interesting to watch it. You're out there, you're on the island, you still have no idea what's going on. I
Mm.
mean, you don't even know what's going on in your tribe. People are having conversations you're not privy to, and of course, you don't know what's happening on the other islands with the other tribes in their camp. So to watch it's eye opening. But I think the bigger, I don't know, the shock is the word, the revelation
Yeah.
to me wasn't the information that you glean from watching the episode. It's more so all of the stuff that happened that didn't make the edit.
Mm.
There's so much. We're out there, 24 hours a day. We're talking, we're doing things, we're having stuff, and they can't cram it all into a 90-minute episode. So
Yeah.
there's so much stuff that's like, oh, they didn't show that. Oh, that didn't make it. That was kind of surprising to me, how much stuff happened that I guess was deemed not relative to the storyline and didn't make the final cut.
Do you think, and after the tribes changed and stuff, do you think that you could have done something different to have stayed?
I thought about it. I knew I wasn't going to just roll over and say, "Oh, pick one." I thought about a fake idol. I thought about briefly. I thought about let's just point towards Jason, and I can give him reasons he needs to go. But I I grew to love the guy, and you'll never meet a cooler guy than Jason. And I just thought, I'm not playing that. That's not how I'm gonna go out, or that's not how I'm gonna approach it. And I really honestly thought I had a chance with Juwan. And again, a lot of the stuff that doesn't make the cut, I had some history with Juwan from the journey. Juwan, Jake, and I actually made a little impromptu alliance, and we were going to work together after the merge, and no one was going to know. It was going to be this secret that we had. And so the morning of my tribal, I talked with Jason and Sophie. I said, look, we got to come up with a plan. We got 4 Ulis that are obviously going to run the show here. What are we going to do? And I said, I'm friendly with Juwan. I think I might be able to flip him. And we went out fishing that day, Juwan and I, for at least 2 hours talking. And he was talking about being on the bottom, and he wanted to change his situation. And I really thought, there's a chance I can get him to flip. And I said, Juwan, you're on the bottom. Nate's running the show. Let's take out Nate, and it'll be your move. This is your resume. This is your big move, your opportunity. And I think he legitimately thought about it, but it was just too early, and they were in such an easy position. And if he would have done it, it would have been awesome. It would have been crazy fun. But I thought, even though it's a Hail Mary, it's a path forward. It's something that I can say, this is, I'm putting all my eggs in this basket, and I'm in a tough spot here, but if it works, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
So that, could I have done something different? I tried to kick around possibilities and options, and I thought, of all of the things I can come up with, this one has the highest probability of success, even though it's probably less than 5%. I think the other viable option was run a campaign against Jason, and I briefly considered it and ruled it out. I just thought, even if I go home, I don't want to be that guy that turned on my tribe, especially Jason. You go spend 8 days in the sand with Jason, you'll come to love him. He's just a genuine, awesome dude, and I'm happy that I didn't stab him in the back.
And it's like Jeff said at the top of the episode, that Survivor is a numbers game at some point. Even breaking down the percentage of what move you can play in your own head, the percentages you're like, I have 5% chance of this happening, or whatever it is. It really is a numbers game, isn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just it's written out so plainly that a third grader can say, this is what makes sense. And they didn't even need to think about it. I think, if anything other than Jason or Matt, if anything other than that happened, something crazy had to have transpired.
Definitely. Well, my last question for you, and I ask everyone this, is, now that you've been watching and you've experienced all of this, is there any one or tribe you're rooting for to go the distance?
Any one person?
Either one person or a group of people or whatever,
I'd like to see either Steven or MC take the whole thing. As I was heading back to Ponderosa, I kind of briefly thought, I'd like to see Juwan or Nate win. That way I can say, well, they took me out because they were the best. They won the game. But then I rethought it, and screw those guys. I guess Steven or MC, go get them.
Well, thank you so much for chatting, Matt. Really appreciate it. And I hope you should be very proud of yourself.
I had a great time. I'm thrilled that I was even ever cast on this show. And of course, would have been fun to stick around a little bit longer, but I'm proud of what I did out there.
It's a good memory nonetheless. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
Take care. Bye-bye.